Alright, so we're back. And it's another Pinterest shenanigans type situation here. I did find another outfit that this time I didn't become obsessed with it. Honestly, I saw it and I was like, that's real cute. But is it cute because the girl is gorgeous, slim, and would probably look good in a potato sack? Or is it actually cute? And I really want to find out the answer to that question. So that is what we are doing. I did do some Google detective Google work. Not sure which one sounds more legit there, but I did some Googling. I did find the skirt that I would like to recreate this week, and it looks like it's by a brand called Katarina Lou and called the Seren skirt. Having a quick look at the details, it does look like there are darts in both the front and the back of the skirt. It's got an asymmetrical gathered detail to it. From what I can gather, it doesn't look like the fabric of the skirt is cut on a curve in any way. I'm pretty sure it's just a rectangle that's been gathered down and made to fit around the curve of the skirt yoke. So basically, we're just gonna see how well we do at recreating this. We have no pattern, just vibes, and we're gonna see if we can make it look the way that it does in the picture, and also whether it's a look or if she's just skinny. We'll find out. Now I'm just gonna say, I'm really not a red tartan girly. It makes me think of what my mum used to dress me in when I was a toddler back in the 90s. So we're definitely not using the same fabric as what the model is. We're gonna go with this instead. Because in all honesty, look at that. It is pure dopamine in a fabric. Like, how can you not see that and think, summer skirt, cute, gathered summer skirt. It's giving adorable, happy feelings. So this is our fabric choice of the week, and I can't wait to turn it into a skirt. Before we get on to the fun part of cutting out actual fabric though, we do need to work out what we're doing with the yoke of this skirt. So I think the plan is learn how to drape on myself on the fly and hope it works out. This could be a disaster in the making, but honestly, I'm just rolling with it at this point, so let's get to it. I have so much footage of me working on this pattern, not including the footage of me failing at draping within the first 5 seconds, which seems to have magically yeeted itself right off my camera. I could explain exactly how I made it, but this is not a tutorial channel and was mostly a vibes-based venture at best. So I'm going to give you some extremely vague instructions, and if you try this yourself, Godspeed. To start, I pulled my waist and hip measurement from memory and divided them by 4 so I could work on 1/4 of the pattern at a time. I sketched out a very rough shape, figured out a front and back that seemed acceptable, and then split each of those into 3 panels so each side ended up with 3 pieces. I also added a 1 centimeter seam allowance everywhere, rounded off the top edge, and then freehanded the asymmetrical hem entirely from memory. I could have looked at the reference image, but I chose to live on the edge. Each version of the pattern got its own mock-up, and I repeated that process until I was happy enough with the fit to move on. I finally get set up to work. Both kids wake up. It's kind of insane, but I have not worked on this project since last year.
Ha! I get it.
It's New Year's Day. Stupid jokes aside, I finished my pattern. Hi buddy, did you wake up? Are you tired? Right? So my pattern is now completely finished. I have the yoke of the skirt done and I've done my facing. I even included all of my seam allowances. So that is now all ready to go. I think it took me like 5 versions of doing mock-ups, which I did use a zipper for, and I harvested every time. So the amount of personal growth I've done on this project is insane. So I'm going to snuggle Mr. Man here until he wakes up properly, and then I'm going to iron my fabric and we're going to start cutting it out. And I honestly, yeah, you got thoughts? I don't think it's going to take me too long to actually get this project sewn up. So hopefully I can have it done in the next couple of hours, because once the yoke is assembled, it's essentially just a couple of rectangles that need to be sewn together, gathered, and then hemmed. Sounds simple, right? So I'm gonna go do this and I'll come back to you guys soon. Let's go. Pattern sorted, mock-ups survived, and it was finally time to cut the fabric and start assembling the skirt yoke. And it only took me cutting out 3 of the facing pieces to realise I was doing it wrong and needed to mirror them. So, whoops. Time to iron all of my seams and then overlock the edges and see if I manage to get this right. Pray for me. All the edges are overlocked, so we can finally move on to the part where this actually starts to look like a piece of clothing. I attached the side seam that wasn't getting a zipper on the yoke and the facing, and boom, done. Skirt yoke is done. Like, done, aside from the zipper. But that's because I can't do the zipper until I put the skirt of this in. And I still haven't even figured out what dimensions I'm doing my skirt. But, that being said, we have our asymmetrical side piece. We've got the curvy bit done. And I think it's pretty much resembling the original skirt inspo. So, you know what? I'm going to call it good enough for now. I'm going to have a quick look, see if I can measure out how wide the wiggly bit of the bottom of this is, so that I can figure out if I can just do 2 widths of the bolt and call it good enough, or if I'm going to have to do 3 or 4 panels to get the fullness that I want for the skirt. I am also going to hem this skirt before I attach it to the yoke, and the reason for that is that the hem of this is meant to be asymmetrical. So I don't care if it's a little bit off by doing it that way, because in all honesty, you're probably not going to be able to notice it by the time I attach it to the asymmetrical yoke. So I'm going to make my life easier and hem it first. So yeah, I'm going to do some measurements. We're going to cut some rectangles. We're maybe going to hem it and then leave the gathering and attachment and zipper for tomorrow. Because, you know, I really want to watch Stranger Things and I don't want to wait until tomorrow. So, I think we're almost done for today. I'm going to speed through this and I'll see you lovely people tomorrow for day, I think it's 4? Good afternoon, it is day 4 and we are back to it. I took a day off yesterday because I fell asleep on the couch last night, so oops. And this morning it is way too warm in the house for me to wear more than what I'm currently wearing, so we're just rolling with it. I make no apologies, it's hot. I don't want to sweat that much. Especially when I'm talking to the camera, I have to turn the aircon off, so I ain't suffering through that. I have already ironed my hem this morning, so that is ready to go. I'm going to quickly stitch that into place, and then we need to gather the skirt panel, attach it to the waist yoke, and figure out how to install the zipper. And I am mildly terrified of the zipper, if I'm perfectly honest. So let's make a coffee for courage and then get started, shall we? Alright friends, we are up to the absolute final step now, and that is the zipper. I probably should have gone to Spotlight and got an invisible zipper specifically for this skirt, but that would have involved leaving my house on a 30-degree day. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but 30 degrees Celsius, like anything above 22, and I am melting. I hate it. I do not like the heat. So that was never going to happen. I do, however, have the wrong coloured invisible zipper. It's like a dark reddy maroon sort of colour. It's going to have to do. I'm going to look up how to install that, and hopefully, like, fingers crossed, I can get it done on the first attempt, because I really don't want to unpick it and do it again. So last step, and then we are done. It is quite warm, and my light is making it 10 times worse. We have another 30-degree day here in Melbourne, and I hate it. My aircon has been running for 36 hours straight. I've only just turned it off so I could do this little segment so that you can actually hear me. And I'm gonna try and do this as quickly as possible so that I can turn it back on, because I'm already sweating. It was also really terrible having to put makeup on today to film this. I have been procrastinating for days because of the heat, and I finally had to do it, or this video would not be going up on Sunday. So I kind of got forced into it. That being said, I do have some final thoughts. I have already filmed this. I did actually film this when I finished the skirt, but then I figured it would be more linear to chuck it in after the reveal rather than putting it before and then having the final shots of me wearing the skirt. So I'm gonna do it again. And basically, I don't have many notes. I think this turned out great. I would actually wear it outside. It is a outside suitable skirt, so I think that is a total win. In terms of how I think it looks, I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't seen it full length yet because I don't actually own any full length mirrors, so I've seen from the knees up. I'm assuming the bottom looks fine. I'll find out when I edit this. But from what I can see, the waist actually does look quite good, and I'm pretty happy with it. I think I would actually make this again. Obviously, I might tweak a few things. Like, I think the hip on the longer side should be a little bit more fitted. I think there should be more gathering in the skirt, and I think instead of cutting rectangles for the skirt panels, I might actually cut them in more of a panel where it's a little bit fuller at the bottom and a little bit less at the top. Only because I like the way that it sits and flows better. When it's a rectangle, I find it's very boxy, and I don't necessarily like the boxier look. It doesn't flatten my body that nicely. So I think that is one adjustment that I would make, and as I said, maybe tightening the fit on the non-zip longer side of the yoke. Outside of that, I made a few very small mistakes, like my zipper isn't totally in line. It's off by a few millimeters. Now, that was not enough to make me go back and redo the zipper. Absolutely no way. Was not happening. It was good enough. And the section where I attached the skirt gathering to the yoke, I did accidentally catch a little bit of the yoke in the overlocking, but it was so minor, you can barely see the threads, and honestly, I don't think you'd notice it unless you knew it was there. So again, I was not unpicking it. It stayed like that. It is fine. I'm pretty happy. Like, I think this was a success. As for whether or not it's a look or if she's just skinny, you guys let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next fortnight. I'm trying to remember, I'm posting fortnightly. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks with another video. Goodbye for now. So we're definitely not using the same fabric as what the model is. There is a hair. Hair everywhere. Loki, I'm dying to take my makeup off. I mean, like, ooh, look at the texture. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that crap. I need to get a better moisturizer for summer.